Hey guys, what's up? It's Charlie here, and today we're going to be looking at 10 unexplainable pictures that deserve an explanation. Have you ever seen a very mysterious picture? You may think with all the resources on the internet you'll be able to trace any picture in the world. But believe it or not, there are still some pictures which cannot be explained. From scary images to ones which are so bizarre they may make you laugh. Check them out. Before we get into it, why not subscribe and press the notification bell too. Coming in at number 10, we have Bread Room. So this is one of those photos which is kind of creepy but also kind of funny at the same time. A few years back, a very strange image surfaced on Twitter. The image was taken in what appears to be a public bathroom. But don't worry, it's not weird for any inappropriate reasons. The key features of public bathrooms are dirty toilets, sinks, and toilet paper stuck to the ceiling. But one thing you don't expect when you walk into a public toilet is a bunch of bread. Well, that's exactly what this photo captures. As you can see, this image seems to be taken in a public bathroom. At least that's what I think, judging by the tiles and the sinks. But the one big question in this image is, what's with all the bread? There must be hundreds, if not thousands of slices of bread all over the place. Now, this photo is very strange, but the guy in the photo is having a more extreme reaction than most. He's literally on the ground in the defensive position. It's almost like the bread has overtaken this guy. Who knows, maybe the guy's aware of how this bread got here and maybe it ain't pretty. Some said this could just be a joke photo the guy set up, but this seems like a very elaborate joke for a totally anonymous photo. Many people have looked into this image, but no one's found out what on earth is going on. Feel free to comment any theories you guys have in the comments section below. Next up is Third Eye. So this one is incredibly creepy. It combines two things people find very scary. That is, a dark night and scary wild animals. If you saw a wild animal approaching you one night, you'd probably be pretty scared, right? But what if this animal had 3 eyes? As you can see in this image, it appears this animal has a third eye. Who knows, maybe it's even the all-seeing eye. Hold on a minute, is anyone seeing what I'm seeing? I'm not sure what this animal's deal is, or really what the animal is. I'm sure everyone's yelling what the animal is in the comments, but honestly, I'm not sure. Another weird thing about this photo is that one of the animal's eyes are red. The other two are a bright orange, but one is red. I'm not sure who took this image, but I guess they made it out okay. This image surfaced on the web a few years back and went viral as it's so scary. Some say this animal could have a bizarre mutation, and others even claim this is a scientific experimentation which escaped. But guys, what's your theory behind this unexplainable image? Comment below. Next up is nun dinner. Have you ever been in a public setting like a dinner party and met someone you don't know before? Well, has there ever been something about someone you don't know which seems a bit strange? It could be the way they look or just the way they act. Well, I assume that's the case in this image. As you can see, this image doesn't look too weird at a first glance. It just looks like an old black and white image of 3 ladies having dinner. But take a look at the middle woman. She's clearly a nun, but there's something not quite right about her. First of all, nun attire in black and white looks very scary, but if you look at her eyes, they're glowing bright white. You may think this is just the flash of the camera, but the other women's eyes don't glow like this at all. Some claim online that this woman is possessed. But can nuns even get possessed? Whatever's going on in this image, something is not right. This is a very old photo and is very hard to trace. It's said that somebody found this in their collection of family photos, and apparently the person who found this and spread the image is the grandson of this woman. But guys, what do you think's going on with the nun in this image? Is it totally normal, or is there something sinister hidden in the image? Next up is Inappropriate Playground. So this image isn't that remarkable as it's not very paranormal or anything. But perhaps the mundane nature of this image makes it all the more creepy. I'm sure some of our happiest childhood memories are at parks. What kid doesn't love going to parks and playgrounds? Of course, parks and playgrounds are usually in areas like public green spaces or parks. But one day an image spread of a very badly placed playground. As you can see, this playground is literally right next to a cemetery. I'm sure as kids, and maybe even as adults, we're pretty creeped out by cemeteries. So it would definitely disturb us playing next to one all day. It's very hard to tell where in the world this image is. I tried to look at the car license plates in the background to find out, but they're not clear enough to see. But if you guys happen to live in the town with this badly placed playground, then comment below telling me where it is. This image is very funny and also creepy at the same time. It makes you think, is this an unfortunate accident or a very evil town planner? Next up is nails. So if there's one thing people love to share on the internet, it's their nails. I'm sure you've seen billions of those videos of nail art tutorials. They're usually very complex and eccentric, and sometimes people even do scary themed nail art. But here's one instance of scary nail art which doesn't involve painting. As you can see, they've made it incredibly spiky. This image is often captioned a barbed wire nail, and I can seriously see as those points really do look sharp. I have to admit though, this could be a pretty handy self-defense mechanism. But don't be surprised when the TSA tries to make you cut your nails before traveling. Just imagine a game of thumb wars with this person. This image is incredibly creepy and also pretty mysterious too. Nobody was able to track down the actual person who took this image. But seeing as that person's mind came up with this, maybe it's best if we leave them alone. Have you guys ever seen nail art creepier than this? Next up is car living. So this next image comes from Russia, so you know it's going to be good. One day somebody was walking into their apartment complex through their parking lot. That was when they looked to their side and saw what they thought was somebody doing some car maintenance. But as you can see by this image, that is not at all what they're doing. This guy's literally sitting inside the engine of this car. You may be wondering why, and the reason is because he lives in it. That's right, this guy's living in his car, but not in the normal sense. Many homeless people actually do live inside their cars. But instead of living in the seats, this guy decided to live inside the engine. I guess this guy really is making good use of his space. And it looks like a pretty cozy home too. He's got his shopping and items all over the engine. And if he wanted to make his own kitchen, he could just turn the engine on. And when he wants to sleep, he can just shut the engine bonnet and take a nap. I have to say it's not my idea of fun, but if you guys want to live in your car, then try out this guy's method. But really, I would love to have more information on this image, but sadly there's none about. It was shared to a Russian site a few years back, and so far nobody's seen this guy again. Who knows, maybe he saved up some money and is now living in a limousine engine. Next up is Toy Tree. So, toys are very sweet and innocent things that kids like to play with, right? Well, you won't be saying that after checking out this image. One day, somebody in Russia went hiking in the woods. That was when they stumbled across something strange. They saw many things hanging from a tree, and when they got closer, they realized it was a bunch of toys. As you can see, someone appears to be hanging toys from this tree. Your parents may have told you that toys don't grow on trees when you were a kid, but I guess they were wrong. Unlike some of the images on this list, there are many theories surrounding this photo. Some say a child went missing in this forest and was never found. So to remember them, their parents hang toys from this tree. Others say this is a madman who simply hangs toys from a tree at night. But something tells me there's no normal explanation behind this tree. If you guys have your own theories, please do share them in the comments. And if you guys happen to have actually seen this tree in real life or one like it, then let me know. Personally, if I see this in the woods, I'm running. Next up is Silence of the Lambs. So we've already seen one very scary photo of an animal, but that was a pretty dangerous looking wild animal. Well, this image proves that farm animals can be just as scary. A few years back, this image went viral. As you can see, it's of many sheep on a farm during sunset. Now, it's very ordinary, not exactly paranormal, but the weird thing about this image is the sheep's eyes. But it's pretty weird how all of these sheep are staring right at him. Are they looking at him, or maybe something scary behind him? Even if this image is totally normal, there's just something unsettling about it. Just imagine having that many scary eyes staring right at you. The weird thing about this image is, despite what angle you're at, the sheep are always making eye contact. Now, if that's not creepy, I don't know what is. Next up is Crosshairs. So guys, pull out your tinfoil hats because this image is all about the moon landing. It's a popular opinion that we didn't actually go to the moon. Now, I'm not saying we did or didn't, but 40% of Americans believe we never really went to the moon. That is pretty weird, and you may be asking, why do so many people think like this? Well, it's because of odd pieces of evidence just like this. Take a look at this image released by NASA on the NASA website. As you can see, there's one of the astronauts from the Apollo 11 mission, and next to him is a moon rover. But guys, to see the weird, unexplainable thing on this image, you have to look at the crosshairs. The crosshairs are the small arrows dotted all over the image. Crosshairs are used to ensure the exact geometry of the image, and they were used on many cameras back in the day. But when you look closely at the moon rover, you'll see that the moon rover actually goes in front of the crosshairs. This literally makes no sense, as crosshairs are always in front of the image. This is because there's something the camera overlays on the photo. And guys, there are actually many instances of things being in front of crosshairs on the Apollo 11 photos. NASA nor any pro photographers seem to be able to explain this. And many say this is proof that these photos have been edited. What do you guys think? Did we go to the moon landing? And if we did, are these images edited? If you guys have any better theories of how these crosshairs are behind the images, then let me know. Next up is Wolf Cry. So guys, this is another animal image, but the weird thing about this photo is it wasn't captured by a human. Instead, this was taken by a trail cam. Trail cams are motion sensitive cameras which take images of animals. They're used by hunters so they can track the positions of deer. But one day a hunter was looking at his trail cam when he saw this image. As you can see, these three wolves had all formed together in a circle. They were then barking up at something in the sky. But guys, what are these wolves barking at? It's very weird how they stood right in front of the camera and then looked up and barked all at once. Some say they must have seen a UFO or alien flying by. There are many reports of people saying their animals have been abducted by aliens. But are these guys all crazy, or are they onto something? I have no idea what these wild wolves are doing, but they seem to be very angry and maybe even scared of what they're seeing. If you guys have any better explanations, then let me know. Some people have pointed out the two things that look like a pair of eyes in the background. I guess they just make the image even more mysterious. Next up is the basement. Have you guys ever discovered something very scary about a family member? Well, that's exactly what happened with this image. One day somebody was visiting their sister and her boyfriend at their house. They hadn't seen each other for a while, so the guy came over, had dinner, and was staying over. But in the middle of the night, he noticed a light was on in their basement. He then walked down into their basement and saw this. As you can see, there are many dolls, a silver dish, a cup, and coins all over the basement floor. It appears like some bizarre cult rituals going on down here using dolls. This kind of reminds me of George Sr.'s tea parties. Suffice to say, the brother got out of the house ASAP. He didn't want to be pulled into this bizarre cultish ritual. But guys, what would you do if this was in your sibling's house? Personally, I'd do what this guy did and get out of there. But not before taking this viral image, of course. If you guys have any theories as to what was going on in this basement, let me know. Next up is family photo. So when it comes to types of pictures, the most innocent types have to be family photos, right? They're usually a bunch of happy people all smiling together. Well, that is what this image is if you look at the bottom half. But when you take a look at the full picture, you'll see it's not all smiles. Well, it is all smiles, but one of the smiles is very sinister, as you can see here. That's right, guys, this massive axe-wielding clown has a very scary look in his face. The family in the foreground appears to be totally oblivious of this clown. I'm assuming they knew he was there, but why does this image even exist? There are many theories about this image, such as this guy took all of their lives after this photo was taken. But really, nobody knows the true origins of this picture. If you guys can come up with a better explanation, then let me know, because I am stumped. Next up is Snake Man. So this image is pretty simple, but at the same time it's also very strange and unexplained. A few years back, this image taken in India went viral. It appears to show a man who can control snakes. And what's even stranger is these snakes appear to have a happy smiling face back to them. Some say these are king cobra snakes with bizarre patterns. And if that's true, then this guy better be careful, as they can be venomous. What do you guys think's going on in this image? Leave a comment letting me know. Check out the poll in the top right corner to vote for the most unexplainable image. I think it's gotta be the moon landing one, seeing as they were literally taken by NASA themselves. If you guys want more amazing videos, check out my second channel. There's a link to that on screen in a moment. But as always, thanks for watching. Check out some more videos on screen right now. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and if you haven't already, what you're waiting for, subscribe to Top 10s.